Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Your Town at Work. I'm your host, Jerry Slater, and on today's episode, which is chock full, we're going to meet our new town treasurer, Mark Good. We're going to talk Finance Commission and town meeting with Judy Langone, head up to the Cleveland School with head of Building and Grounds, Paul Riccardi, and finally, we're going to debut a new segment, which is Meet Your Town Meeting Member. First up, I had an opportunity to spend some time with Mark Good on his first week on the job and welcome him back to Norwood. And I am here with a Your Town at Work exclusive. We have our brand new town treasurer, Mark Good, for his first interview with the media. Mark, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So you started June 1st, I think, or really this week?
June 5th, yeah, Monday.
Monday. Yeah. So why did you come to Norwood? Why did you want to come to Norwood?
Well, I was formerly the treasurer in the city of Malden, and I got a call from a friend of mine one day who said that the town of Norwood treasurer position was open. He said I should go for that, so I applied, and here I am. But I'm here because I think that town governments run a little bit more efficient than city governments. Malden is a mayor form of government, so he tends to bring people in that he wants to work with, and they're not necessarily qualified, and so I thought I had been working in town government prior to going to Malden, and I like the efficiency of it. So, and I had that comparative, city town, and I thought I just like the way towns run.
So. I should have started with, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, though?
Well, I've been doing municipal finance for 27 years. I was 3 years in the private sector doing finance. So I've been 30 years of doing finance numbers. So I've got some experience. I was in Weston to start. I left Weston. I went into the private sector for 3 years as the chief financial officer for a private company. It's a small company, cash flow's an issue, and you're always chasing money or being chased for money. You have to try to keep your suppliers open. Small companies have a tough time, so I thought, you know what, I need to get back into the municipal sector. It's just, cash flow isn't an issue. So I got a job over in Walpole as their finance director, and then Walpole came, or Malden came into the picture, and I went to Malden as their treasurer. So here we are in Norwood.
And you live, I think first of all, you have some ties to Norwood, some former ties to Norwood,
That's
some
right,
current
yeah.
ties to Norwood, and you live in one of our neighboring communities?
I did. My wife and I, when we first got married, we're down in Endicott Village.
Oh, wow.
So we lived there till 1990. We were in the condos, and condos and kids don't go together. So we wanted to stay in Norwood. We looked for a house in Norwood, but couldn't find anything. So we ended up in Norfolk.
Okay, so Norfolk, but I think you belong to a church here in Norwood, right?
Emmanuel Lutheran.
All right.
Yeah.
So your commute got better, right?
It did get better.
It definitely got better. Now, what are you hoping, as you come to Norwood, the new town treasurer, what are you hoping to accomplish here?
Well, I think I've had a very short time to get to review the operation here, but the first thing that comes to mind, and I think it was mentioned in the interview, was our computer system. And So I think we want to take a look at that and get the parties together and see if it makes sense to maybe make some changes in the computer system. So certainly that would be one of the things on our list. And beyond that, I really need to get more involved and get more familiar with the operation, and we can make some decisions from there. But certainly the computers are something we want to look at first. But other than that, the operation is working well, as near as I can tell. I've got in my first week here, and I've got involved with the cash reconciliation and try to familiarize myself with the general operation of the office, sat with the ladies and tried to see what they're doing. And so I think I need that aspect of it, that perspective, before I can really make any judgments at this point.
And I did read a little bit about and actually watched your interview live on MPA, I might add, that one of the things that you were intrigued about is our tax base being so heavily business, and that's a little bit of a change for you.
That's right, and Malden has a population of about 60,000. I think here it's about 30,000. But Norwood produces 30,000 bills a month, utility bills, light, cable, water. The city of Malden produced about 12,000. So it's actually busier than Malden in terms of billing and revenue produced by those town companies. The interesting thing about them is they're run as the revenue goes to the town. They're not these separate or enterprise funds that kind of are accounted for on their own. So that's kind of interesting that it's all one bucket. So that's an interesting aspect that, now I'm the treasurer of a light department. So
I'll be calling you when my electricity is.
Yeah, all right.
All right, so Mark, it is your first week. We're going to let you get your feet wet. Hopefully, come back and visit with you
Sure.
again to find out more about how it's going in the treasurer's department. And last question for you: week one, it's Friday, so you're done. Will there be a week two?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All right.
I'm encouraged.
You heard it here first. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you.
The Women's Community Committee is a volunteer, nonprofit organization that's been operating a thrift store since 1927. The thrift shop is open on Monday and Wednesday mornings from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for donations only. Our retail hours are Wednesday nights from 6 to 8, Thursdays from 9:30 to 3, and Saturdays from 9:30 to 12:30. We accept donations at that time as well. You can friend us on Facebook to keep up to date on our current merchandise and sales. All proceeds are used to provide funds to support worthy programs, services, and charities in Norwood. Help extend a helping hand by donating and shopping at the WCC Thrift Shop. Thank you. You never know what you'll find.
The Morrill Memorial Library is an integral part of the Norwood community. They provide innovative and effective services to all users to enrich their lives with cultural, educational programs and materials. They assist their patrons daily and have programs for patrons of all ages. To contact the library with any questions or need any information, please call 781-769-0200 or email norwood@minlib.net.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Kennelly, Director of the Morrill Memorial Library in Norwood, and we hope to see you soon in the library.
Even though school's out for summer, there's an awful lot going on in the schools. Let's go up to the Cleveland and join School Department Building and Grounds Head Paul Riccardi as he shows us what's going on.
Hi, Paul Riccardi, Director of Buildings and Grounds, Norwood Public Schools. It's mid-July and we're in front of the Cleveland Elementary School, and I wanted to give you folks an idea of what goes on in all the school systems, all the school buildings, in Norwood. The process starts as soon as school gets out, where the custodians are taking everything out of every classroom and putting it into the corridors, which allows them to then go into the classrooms and start from a top to bottom down cleaning of all the classrooms and the window induction units, which supplies the heat and ventilation for the school system. And then all of the stripping the floors, and then all of the furniture is then cleaned and put back in shape. It's a very long and tedious process, and this goes on at all 9 of our school buildings every summer. Here at the Cleveland, you're going to see that we've had the final stage of our floor abatement program, where we did our last 5 classrooms, the cafeteria, the library, the stage in the cafeteria, and the teacher's lounge, where the tile, which is almost 50 years old, was taken up, and the floor is skimmed and new tile is put down. What's going on in the cafeteria, along with the food service department, the food service department is going to be going into bulk food preparation in September. In order to do that, we needed to put all new serving lines, and the town was, we were very fortunate that the town gave us the money, gave food service the money to purchase all new serving lines for the elementary schools with hot and cold well stations. Also, because of the new bulk food system, we had to put in new ovens in all of the elementary schools. In the classrooms, as I said, it is a thorough from top to bottom cleaning. And what impresses me the most is the guys do such a good job in the summer that we're able to maintain them all through the school year. And even in April, May, and June, when you think psychologically we're getting ready for the summer cleanup, we'd let up a bit, but the schools are done so well in the summertime that they maintain them throughout the entire school year, so that we have a nice, clean, safe environment for our students. We are kind of experimenting this year at the Cleveland and the Oldham. When you normally strip a floor, you do it with chemicals, and 2 things when you're using stripper: it's very slippery, so the guys are walking on it. You have to put a lot of water down on the floor to get the chemical reaction with the stripper, and there's obviously an odor associated with it. So this year at the Cleveland and at the Oldham, we are trying a dry stripping process, which can be a little dusty, but they have vacuums hooked up to the machine that sucks the majority of the dust up. And we're hoping that this is a much more efficient and much safer way for the guys to strip floors. And if the pilot program works at the Cleveland and the Oldham, then we'll be introducing it to the rest of the system in the coming years. As you can see, there's a ton of work that's done at all the schools. I can tell you, I've been here 6 years, and every summer I get 2 or 3 people that say to me, "What do you do all summer?" You take the summers off, and your custodians are off all summer. And we just wanted to show you this, to show you the amount of work that is done in the Norwood schools by our custodians. And you know, most of our elementary schools are not air conditioning, so these guys are working in very hot and humid buildings and making sure that these schools are in great shape. As you can see, it looks like chaos, but it is really organized, and they do this all in 10 weeks. And we're about at the halfway point now, and I'd like to come back at the end of August and show you the finished products here at the Cleveland School. But this is a great representation of all of our schools in Norwood, and we should all be really proud of the work that our custodians and maintenance people do to keep these schools in the best possible shape.
Well, town meeting may be over, but there's a lot that goes on around the year, especially with the Finance Commission. We caught up with FinCom Chair Judy Langone to talk FinCom and town meeting. All right, we're here on town meeting floor with none other than Judy Langone, the chairwoman and senior member of the FinCom. Judy, welcome to Your Town at Work.
Thank you. And when you say senior member, ooh, that makes me feel old.
Well, let's clarify that. So, senior member, how many years on the board and on the committee? And I think you're probably the one that has the most seniority.
That's true, 27 years. John Hayes just retired. He had 30, and then I have 27.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the role of FinCom. Now, we're actually on, as I said, town meeting floor, so, and this is part of the annual town meeting. So FinCom's role, this is kind of, you guys are on the front stage here.
Yeah, this is where the Finance Committee presents all the budgets, all the motions, and we're the only ones that can present that. So we're front and center, as you can see, and we present them and make comments on the motions themselves. We've been working since January directly, as others have, and of course the departments have been October, November, and December working on the budget. So it's been a long process this time.
So let's take us through kind of the cadence of what goes into the budget. Obviously, it's a long process, January, but it even starts before then for the FinCom, right?
Oh, it does. I mean, first of all, the budgets come in early December. We start looking at revenue projections. Then the Budget Balancing Committee begins to meet in January, and we have 2 members from the FinCom, 2 members from the Selectmen, 2 members from the schools, the Superintendent of Schools, the Town Accountant, and of course the Town Manager. And that's when we get a first look at the revenue picture, which is where we must start first, which everybody does in their own home. How much revenue do we feel we will have over the course of the next months to be able to project into the next year?
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, so the budget is obviously one of the primary roles of the FinCom. What else does the committee do?
Well, during the year, we have a reserve fund for emergencies, and we have authorization to approve money to take care of emergencies. So that's what we, do there. We also, if it's reported to us that there is some expenditures that are questionable, we in turn can hold hearings and actually subpoena people to come in. And also, we are in charge too of going out to bid for our auditors, and we get the audit report, and we have the auditor in. And so we have a number of duties, basically all related to finance. But we also talk frequently with the school committee, the selectmen, and we try to work together to come up with a package for town meeting that we think is responsible.
Now, I think the other thing that you've done also is you've appointed some liaisons to different areas around town to be kind of the FinCom's liaison to those committees and departments.
Yeah, this year, I did this several years ago, appointed liaisons to work with key departments, and of course the schools being the biggest budget. I appointed Ann Haley. I appointed Alan Slater to various town departments, Joe Greeley to the Blue Hills, the electric light and broadband, to sort of get an understanding of what their needs are, to be the bridge of communication, not to be the advocate of that department, but to exchange ideas. And so we have a sense, a little more detail based on the work that the liaison has worked with that committee.
So I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the members of the committee and have you. You've named a couple, and you've got a couple of new members this term as well.
Oh yes, we've had a great committee members over the course of years, and of course there's John Hayes, who 30 years, he just retired. Joe Greeley also just retired after 12 years. And the new members this time, David Hajar, who was the chairman of the Personnel Board and spent somewhere around 13 years, I believe, most of which were the chairman of the Personnel Board, and Bob Donnelly, who was at the beginning of the Personnel Board and was the first chair. And of course, Ann Haley, who has returned to the Finance Commission. She was on the Finance Commission in the late 90s, early 2000s. And of course, Alan Slater in 2003 came on board, and myself, of course, I'm a member too. So we have 5 members, and frankly, we all have different backgrounds. And if you'd like to go on to the town website, you'll see a little bio about each one of our backgrounds. And I think we have a very broad group of experience that maybe some other committees may not have. So I'm very pleased with the commission. I'm very excited about the upcoming year, especially with our new members on the board.
And I know that also we should mention Tom McQuaid kind of acts as your chair. You're not your chairman, but he kind of keeps you in line. What would you say? His secretary, maybe? I don't know.
Well,
clerk.
He's officially called the CPA clerk. But he is the person that puts the information together for us, and yes, keeps us out of trouble if we're trying to do something that is not what we should be doing, or we're extending our bounds. Without Tom, we wouldn't be able to provide town meeting with all this information. We basically set policy and direction, and he in turn works on our behalf with all the departments, along with, of course, with the selectmen.
All right, so after town meeting, and this will be the last question, but I will let you get the last word in there, Judy. What happens after town meeting?
Well, after town meeting, we have to close the books, and of course we have to meet and take our final votes, and then of course the summer starts, and usually it's a pretty low time of work, but this time there is a commitment for the Budget Balancing Committee to continue its work after town meeting to look at where do we go from here. I think at the beginning of town meeting here, I talked about, given the revenue and given the budget needs at this point, it's not sustainable, and we're heading for a train wreck. We're not there yet. We didn't get there this time. We were able to, bring the budget together with the revenue. But where do we go from here? And it's not just money that's going to be the answer. It's going to be consolidations. It's going to be technology. It's going to be change the way we're doing. So this committee this summer will be very busy.
Super. Well, Judy, as always, thank you. You're a wealth of knowledge. The town is lucky to have you.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Slater. And I enjoy Mr. Slater very much on the committee.
All righty. From town meeting floor, I'm Jerry Slater.
Hi, I'm Erica McLaughlin, and welcome to the new NPA Update. We have updated the look of our show and have added new reporters to help bring you news and information on everything Norwood. This will include events that NPA has covered, events that will be covered, and we'll also let you know what's on right now. Please make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or you can give us a call at our offices at 781-551-0338. Thanks for staying up to date with NPA Update.
We're introducing a new segment on today's episode, and that's Meet Your Town Meeting Member. And we have one of the best, Joan Jacobs, joining us from town meeting floor. All right, as we go around town meeting floor, we're now with Joan Jacobs, District 1. Joan, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here at town meeting.
All right, so how long have you been on town meeting?
Over 25 years. So it's been a long time.
And why did you originally run, and why are you still on?
I originally won because I was fairly new to the town, and I, was interested in what was going on in the town. And as the years went by, I like to give back to the town that has been very good to us and my family. And I enjoy listening to the different aspects of, the town departments and whatnot. So that was all.
You just like it. Yeah. So let me ask you what your favorite part of town meeting is.
The last night at the last minute when they say thank you for coming to town meeting. No, there is some good sports. I'm always interested in the Board of Health budget and the Cable Commission budget and the other things that I'm involved in. But I just like to hear what's going on in the town, basically, and what the latest town budgets are, I guess. So I don't know. I like it. I don't like sometimes the people repeating the same questions and stuff, but other than that, it's good, Jerry. I just, long suffering, I guess you call it.
All right. So to somebody who might be on the fence about running for town meeting, what would you tell them?
I'd say go for it. I had a friend that moved to town, and I got her to run for town meeting, and she did it through 2 cycles of it. And she finally said, Uncle, she'd had enough. So, it's for some people, and some people it's not. It just it depends on what your interests are. And I just think that if you enjoy that kind of thing, then as I said, I like to give back to the town that I am in.
All right. So District 1 Town Meeting Member Joan Jacobs, also Chairwoman of the Board of Health, and on the Cable Commission. Thank you.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
So that's it for this episode of Your Town at Work. I'd like to thank our guests, our wonderful NPA TV crew, and you, the viewers, for watching us today. And remember, this is your show, so if you have any ideas on what you'd like to see, please email us at yourtownatwork@mpatv.org. I'm Jerry Slater. Have a great day.